Wade exists, and
I
so do
do
I.
exist somehow. I haven't
Lou
died
is
yet.
Lou is out today, so you just
Yes.
get us.
Yes, you get us. We're sorry.
We're terrible people. Why do you want us?
We are terrible people. We regret nothing.
This is the part where you're supposed to say, "No, you're not."
Yeah. Anyway, what are we talking about, Yasmin?
Excuse me.
Yes?
Hello,
Hello!
and welcome to Blue Minds Think Alike. I am Yasmin, and this is
I
Wade.
am dead inside.
Alive but dead inside. Okay, sorry, I just had Bendy and the Ink Machine on my head there for a second.
It's okay.
But we're going to talk about live action adaptations. We started having a discussion and then we just said we could talk about this further with a camera rolling.
Yes.
With a camera rolling.
Can I be heard well and clear?
Oh, that is infinitely better. That is
Hello.
infinitely better.
Hello. Sorry, technical difficulties. I can't hear myself, but Wade can hear me.
Yes, that is true. Do I sound okay?
No, you sound like you.
Besides that, do I sound okay?
You sound fine, darling.
She calls me darling. I feel so touched.
I feel complimented as I should
Yay.
be. But anyway, live action. What do we now want to talk about first?
Live action. We're talking about stuff.
Yeah.
Uh,
So what when
Um,
it comes to live action, what comes to mind when you think of a well done live action?
well done live action adaptation.
Yes.
Um,
Can be from books, can be from video games.
well, the thing
all
is,
that.
a lot. Thing you don't realize about a lot of live action stuff in general is that a lot of it is based off of a book. Like
100%.
even like there's the series I've been watching recently on Prime, Amazon Prime is Reacher with Alan Ritson.
Mm.
That's actually apparently Jack Reacher, like the character, was based off of a book.
Yeah, he probably was. Most
Well,
likely.
it says it at the beginning of each episode.
Fair enough.
Like,
I mean, if they
yeah,
point it out and put it blank there.
yeah, like based off of this by this author.
Mm.
But I guess let's start probably at the main thing, which is, and that'll probably fuel more conversation. Um, Video game adaptations, because there's been a lot of those recently.
Right. Shall we start from the beginning of 2023?
2023. Okay, we can start there.
Because we start from there with The Last of Us.
Yes,
Then we get Five Nights at Freddy's.
I still need to see that.
See. Then we get a trailer for Fallout.
Yes.
Then on Christmas Day, Bendy drops that they're making a film.
It was rumored for several months, but it has since been confirmed. Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, Legend of Zelda is going to be getting something. And
2020,
BioShock has kind of been confirmed in a way
yeah,
as well.
2022, I believe it is, or it was. I might be wrong.
So we got
Uncharted.
Uncharted and Halo.
Yes. Like I liked Uncharted. It definitely didn't have the same feel as the games, but that didn't inherently make it bad if you think of it as its own thing.
Yeah. I mean, when you put a lot of things as their own thing, you kind of like see it more. But when you try and compare it to because this is the problem. This is a different example, but this is the problem the current Mean Girls is having.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously they have a musical version that's out now.
Yes.
And they have an original Broadway adaptation that also has an album. Here's the thing. Tina Fey created everything Mean Girls. So she gets her say no matter what.
Hmm.
But everyone's making a comparison, just like, why doesn't it sound like the original song? I get why, because like some things don't work, some things do.
It's a different medium. You can't tell the same story
Yes,
in that same way.
that's what people don't get. Because
Exactly.
sometimes when you've got a screen and when you've got a stage, they're two different things. Because on stage, everyone just sounds more lively, like, oh, and then on screen, you have to be more authentic in the sense
That's
of just like, yes, sure,
that
go.
was one of my gripes with The Last of Us on HBO.
Yeah.
Like it was a good story, but they stuck too close to the original. And so it felt like each episode was kind of a different thing, which was kind of how the game was, but the game did it in a way where it still felt cohesive. Yeah, there were time skips and such,
Yeah,
but it somehow just for that medium felt good. I didn't get that same feeling in the show. It felt like it
right.
was jumping around a bit. And that's kind of why my favorite episode was definitely episode 3 with Bill and Frank, because they turned that entire thing into its own thing,
Yeah. Because
made
they
for
hadn't,
TV.
because you didn't have that much context on Bill and Frank.
Exactly. And so like, okay, let's make something new. That's why that
And it
was the
was a
best episode.
beautiful relationship.
Exactly. Like it wasn't trying to take something that already exists and tell the same story in a different medium.
Yeah.
They 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 took what was and they took something that basically wasn't there. The bits that were there, they completely changed because Bill or Frank hated Bill in the game.
Yeah.
And Frank and Bill, it never was explicitly, it's never really confirmed how he felt, but there are some theories out there of how he felt in the game.
Mm.
In the, you know how it was in the show,
Yeah.
and so like, I feel like, in my opinion, like when you, especially like when you're crossing from one medium to another, it shouldn't be like based off on. It should be more of, or like a retelling of it should be inspired by. Like that was kind of why, to do a thing, the MCU, say what you will about it now, but like especially the Infinity Saga, it did so well because it didn't word for word copy the comics. It took
Mm.
inspiration from the themes and
It picked
storylines.
out little bits of it, yeah.
Yeah,
Whereas only one comic has had to stick to its true origins because it's a Neil Gaiman comic.
they are, which I still need to see that as well.
Yeah, Sandman has had to stick to its guns through and through just
Yes.
because it is all a cohesive story.
Uh-huh.
And adapting it, you have to follow the panels exact as they are and try and recreate them. And they do so well with it, including create one of the darkest episodes from one of the darkest parts of like the comic book era, which
Hmm.
is a murder diner.
Oh boy.
And it's called 247.
Yeah. Like that's kind of like what other adaptations have there been that we can think of?
Okay, here's a good example. So we have two adaptations of Percy Jackson.
Yes.
We have the
I've only seen one of them.
movies. We have the movies and we have the TV
Yes.
show. I have yet to see the TV show because I haven't got Disney Plus.
Same currently.
Um, but basically, um, the series I think is better based on what everyone has been saying because they've been able to elongate it
Hmm.
and include other details of the books, and also Rick doesn't actually like the movies.
Yes, I've heard about that.
And so there was one TikTok thing that got me, which was, oh, Rick has to include Poker Face in the when they go to the Lotus Casino because it's an iconic throwback, and it's just like, um,
No.
doesn't have to do anything. He replaced it with levitating by Dua Lipa.
Yeah, but like,
And he says normalize erasing
yeah,
stuff, because at the same time it's a new adaptation and it's fully got his control, fully like more adapted to the books,
yes.
and he gets to say on what changes.
One of the like differences that, again, I can only say it with a bit of grain of salt because I haven't seen the show, Disney Plus show yet.
Mm.
But with the movies, if it wasn't based off the lightning thief, if it was its own thing, it
Yeah.
may have done a lot better. But because it was based off of,
Because it said Percy Jackson.
yeah, it was made at the at arguably the height of the book series popularity.
I think people
And
are
so,
right in the sense of Logan was the perfect casting for Percy Jackson. He was a completely
yes,
perfect Percy Jackson. And he acknowledges that, like, Rick is in control and everything, because he's actually acknowledged and given advice to Walker via an interview,
yeah. I
which is
remember,
really sweet of him.
I always say I can't remember. It's been so long since I've read the books, so I can't remember how like it played out in the books. But I remember in the movie when he gets Riptide, he's like, Mr. Brent's like, take this. It's a powerful weapon. Holds up a pen. This
This
is
is
a
a
pen.
pen. This
This
is a
is a
pen.
pen. And then he uncaps the pen, which
Click
watching
it,
it
click it.
to be fair, it makes more sense that clicking the pen caused it to come out. Like that's because think about it, because in the books it doesn't like draw attention to us, but I do remember it says this explicitly
Mm.
that the pen actually has a cap that like taking it on or off causes the sword to come out. You
Yeah.
can't actually write with the pen. Which imagine how annoying it would be
Just
if you
hang on.
need a pen and all you
Okay.
have is a sword.
Just 1 second. I'm just gonna.
Fuck. But like I imagine he like the first time he does it, he has no clue what's going on. He takes the cap off, and then he just gets skewered in the hands by a sword appearing there.
Or just stab someone in the back and just goes, never mind.
And then and then what he does is he touches the cap to the tip of the sword, and it goes and goes back into a pen.
But yeah, I think because obviously the characters are of age, even though
yes.
they're like Walker's just turned 15 and Percy
But
was
he's
12 in the original. But at the same time, having a couple of years between it doesn't really.
he's young. He's young enough because Percy was 12.
He's still a minor.
Yeah, Percy was 12 when during the Lightning Thief. He just turned 6. He turned 16 during the events of The Last Olympian.
Yeah.
And so there's only a 4-year difference between that. And so having a 15-year-old kid who I haven't seen in the show, but like especially, and to be honest, I'm sure that having seen Logan Lerman play Percy and how much younger than Logan Lerman Walker does. And I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, this guy is the good age to play a really young Percy, which is what Percy was meant to be.
Yeah.
Because it's more relevant in the early books, but it's kind of relevant in all of it. The
It's
fact
relevant
of
completely.
these young kids who are like, yeah, you don't get to be young people anymore. You get to be the saviors of the world now. Basically, is what they're being told. And being that, yeah.
One thing
Sorry,
I
go ahead.
remember was D23. And it's the sweetest moment where Rick goes out on the D23 stage and he announces Percy, Annabeth, and Grover. And Walker just makes this absolute promise at the age of fucking 13 that he is gonna work hard every day and be the best Percy he's gonna be. And you just hear from the audience, "Aww." And I'm just like, this kid is gonna make it big, and he's gonna be one of the kid role models, because I feel like he is definitely staying away from the status of kid actors, because the kid actors status is always like oh yeah, the kids had a hard time, blah blah blah, like
Mhm.
whereas
Well,
Rick is creating an environment where it is literally safe for everybody.
what I've learned with like a lot of child actors is they usually do one of two things. They either, because they're child actors and because they're actors a lot, and this I'm mostly talking about actors that like in big name things. They either, because they're not equipped to deal with that stress. One example comes with the guy who played Anakin in episode 1 of the Phantom Menace.
Right.
You heard about like his story. He was arrested for like a bunch of different stuff.
Right.
Yeah, like something like that happens. Or what I've noticed more commonly happen is once they come of age and then grow up, they kind of like fall out of the spotlight a bit. What was
The
with the
fallout,
exception?
the first thing I think of for fallout is Josh Hutcherson, but he needed the
I was
space.
just about to say his name. Like, other than Five Nights at Freddy's, what big thing was he in post Hunger Games?
Not an awful lot. He mainly was in the
Ex-
indies.
Exactly, which is fair. Like, maybe he's happier. That's like stuff he wanted to
He
do.
kind of
Like, I'm
took a
not.
step back and he was thinking of quitting acting, and then he got Freddy's.
Yeah, like I'm not judging him in any way. I'm just like
I
saying.
think he's been in the spotlight for such a long time where you can understand it. And obviously he's in The Beekeeper now,
Yeah,
playing a very different role than he's ever been allowed to play, which
my mom and I might go see that
I
later
think he
tonight.
needs to play. I think he needs to play. He needs to just play around with different roles. Like,
Figure out what he likes.
yeah, because he's been in the sci-fi and fantasy. He's in the horror genre. He's cracked Jason Statham villain.
Yeah,
I
he was
feel I feel
incredible as
like
Peter Malark.
that putting a step back into fantasy might be good for him, because
What
Bridge to
now?
Terabithia,
Bridge to Terabithia is one that'll make you cry.
it's
Now,
fucking
what type of
tough.
fantasy? Is it like Bridge of Terabithia fantasy, or are we talking like high Lord of the Rings fantasy?
I wouldn't say high Lord of the Rings fantasy. I don't think I've seen him in, well, apart from Future Man. Anything periodic. I
Fair.
think he's more of a modern man or a future man.
Yeah.
No
But
pun
yeah,
intended.
and like a lot of child actors, they kind of like you like going back to topic, they tend to do one of those two things. With, I will say, and the notable exception, and when I say that, I mean the only one that comes to mind, Haley Steinfeld. Like she's just getting like more and more big stuff.
Yeah, she's picking herself up.
Yeah. She's only like I think 27.
Uh, okay, Google. How old is Haley Steinfeld?
27 years old.
You were right.
Doja.
Good, I've got Google to confirm it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But and so like you were saying with Walker, he's kind of like stayed out of that a bit.
Yeah, Walker's kind of putting himself in a very good pedestal.
Mhm.
Where he's like I think he acknowledges that growing up is a tough thing. And I think Ryan Reynolds kind of prepared him well as well.
Yeah, because I remember when it was announced that he'd be playing Percy, Ryan Reynolds, I think an Instagram post said, "Hey, congratulations to my partner on the Adam Project on his
Yeah, he was
like
kind of
thing
like
as
a little
Percy."
father to him.
It was.
And especially the funny thing is I watched an interview where he was interviewing Mark Ruffalo, Jennifer Gardner, and
Who,
Zoe
Ryan
Saldana
Reynolds?
and Ryan.
Oh,
And
Walker
basically
was?
Walker was, and basically all of a sudden Mark was talking about smoking weed at 13. and Ryan just goes, he's 13. And he was just like, yeah, I was like that. I was that age when I was doing it. And then Ryan just goes, his father is right there. He will beat the shit.
You know what that reminds me of?
Mm,
Just slightly get off topic. It reminds me of this one I want to say like a Tumblr post that I saw not on Tumblr but on just like Twitter or something, I think it
right.
was. It was The Avengers are all having a party. Thor hands Peter Parker a giant like tankard of beer, and then Steve's like, "The kid's 15." Ah, you're right. Hands him a second one. You are a growing boy.
Again, off
It,
topic.
it reminds you of that.
Again, off topic. I do want to see Peter Parker drunk in Spider-Man 4.
That
Hey,
would be-
Peter, what happened? I'll tell you what happened.
Spider-Man 4 hasn't been confirmed, has it?
They're due
Okay.
to shoot it this year.
I'm honestly intrigued to see where they're going to go with that. With the way that Spider-Man, with the way that No Way Home ended, like that would be like, because
He's in his original roots.
in every film, it's Tom Holland, right? Or is it Tobey Maguire?
It's
Because I
still
think I
going to be
heard,
Tom Holland, yeah.
okay, because I remember I heard a rumor that it was a Tobey Maguire film.
No.
Okay,
No,
fair
no,
enough. But
no,
like
no.
with the way that No Way Home ended, would have been like the perfect exit for Tom Holland from like the mainstream MCU, like
Yeah.
as his role as Spider-Man. I'm interested to see how they're gonna do it though, if they are making a fourth, because every single Tom Holland Spider-Man film has dealt about his struggles with wanting to be Peter Parker and wanting to be Spider-Man. They always clash. They resolved that in No Way Home.
Yeah.
Not in the way Tom Holland would or Peter Parker would have liked, but it is resolved. He was forced to be Spider-Man.
In the end, what's done is done.
Yes. So how are they going to either come up with a new plot for Spider-Man out of nowhere or bring that plot back?
Hmm.
I don't know how.
But also, I think like if he was going to tell someone a second time, he would tell Doctor Strange a second time.
Oh yeah, like
I think he's going to become very close with Strange.
I've thought about a lot. Like if I were in that situation, I probably would have tried to be like, okay, like, hey, Strange, you don't remember it, but this happened. And I feel like Strange would probably be like, yeah, that makes sense. And then probably do some spell to like reverse his memory loss or something. And then they'd probably, I don't know, go from there.
Kind of make new memories kind of thing.
Yeah.
We were
Anyway,
still
we're getting
talking
up
about good live action
we need to get up back on the adaptation thing. Um,
Okay, I'm gonna bring this up. Disney live action remakes.
Disney live action remakes. Uh
I'm getting
for,
tired.
for the stuff that came out in like the 30s and 40s, yes. For Moana, which came out
Moana
only
doesn't
like
need it yet. Moana does not
yes,
need it yet.
it's not even been a decade.
I mean, Arali can't play Moana now, apparently. But then again, I wouldn't put her as Moana now just because she's obviously been Moana,
Yeah.
but now she's known for Janice. I think you just need to let her grow up a bit
Mhm.
and then give it to someone who is actually 16.
But yeah. Like
And
wait maybe like 20 or 30 years before you make a live action remake.
I'm not
Because
100% because like we had Little Mermaid last year, which I liked.
I still haven't seen that.
I didn't find it too bad, and actually giving Eric a song, fucking finally. Especially as Jonah was a fine prince.
Like yeah, Disney live action remakes need to. The stuff that came out like when Disney was first making the anime movies in the 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Yeah,
That
because
stuff, yeah. Because
we're getting Snow White.
yes, that Snow White's okay. But like a remake of Moana. The making apparently actually no, they already made a live action Jungle Book.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, that was like 20 years ago or whatever it felt like. I don't know.
It was a really good adaptation. The good ones in my mind, Little Mermaid, 100%.
Okay.
Then we have Aladdin, just because it's not as bad as people think.
Aladdin I liked. Like
I really liked Aladdin.
A lot of people were hesitant about anyone replacing the genie. But like Will Smith, you could tell he knew what the shoes he was trying to fill, and he did not fill them. He made his own shoes and made it his own thing.
The thing that here's the thing. He did what Robin Williams did. And what Robin Williams did was be himself. So Will
Yes.
Smith was being himself.
And that is the best way
That's
to
the embodiment of the genie.
Yeah, it's the best way to both be honor Robin Williams, because like that's one of his most iconic roles as the genie. But
Yeah.
also, if he were to try to copy Robin Williams, the movie would have failed. But because he was like Will Smith, and when you mentioned that, one of the things that first comes to mind is the end. We're gonna need to put a spoiler warning over this episode.
We're gonna.
Yeah. One of the things
You've
that comes
had
to mind
years.
is the end right after he gets freed, and it's the whole thing. He's like, "Can we do something? All right, give me some jams. Game yourself." That like little interaction has such Will Smith energy to it.
Get your own jams.
Yeah.
But yeah, that movie also launched Mina Masood's career.
Who
'Cause
was
Mina
she in that?
He
Oh, he. Sorry.
was Aladdin
Oh, okay.
because his parents are originally Egyptian heritage.
Yeah.
So he was like, he purely went in for that reason because like he was words. One thing everyone wanted was for them to match the heritage because it's Arabia is kind of like near Egypt.
Yes.
So they needed someone with Egyptian heritage. So Rami Malek would have also been a good kind of like
Rami
description.
Malek. Rami Malek would have been good. I feel like Rami Malek would have been too high profile an actor for that role.
Yeah. So that's
I-
why Mina was like brand new, give him a role. He is Aladdin. Yes.
And he killed it. He absolutely killed it.
He did. He did.
Yeah. Like the one role that I can think of that like was a high profile guy was Will Smith as the genie, which I felt because like going back to what I said before, because it was the genie and that role had such big shoes to fill, they had to know that the guy they picked could fill it, and Will Smith was the great choice for it.
Yeah. And then another live action that I really liked because like Little Mermaid was really good because everyone was wondering why the fuck did you cast Melissa McCarthy? She was fucking perfect.
As she was,
Ursula.
yeah.
Because she killed it in that role. Another good live action. Which was the other good one? Another good live action. I'm sorry to people who disagree with me. I didn't mind Beauty and the Beast.
I did not mind that either. Like, if we're being honest,
Emma could sing. Emma could
Emma could
100%
sing?
sing, and she did.
Luke, I gotta say, like, I had never seen Luke Evans in a villain role before. He was good at it. As
I'm trying
Gaston,
to think.
Gaston,
I might have because Dracula Untold.
I would not
He
consider
was
that.
mixed.
That was more of closer to an anti-hero, I'd feel.
Yeah.
It was more of, hey, I have this shitty situation I've been thrust into, and there is no good outcome for me.
Yeah.
So no matter what he does, he's doing something bad. He either gives up his people and his son, or he basically condemns his entire kingdom to death. Either way, the kingdom basically dies.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that was a really good adaptation for me as well. Ones I didn't gel with Lion King.
I have not seen that.
It's because it's still CGI, because obviously you're CGIing real animals.
Yes.
The only thing I didn't gel with was how it still didn't look finished, and like
It looked CGI.
it looked CGI. You
Yeah.
could tell that it was, even though you're not supposed to tell. But like I will always gel with Simba, Timon, and Pumbaa, 100%.
Yeah.
Especially as Seth Rogen and Billy. Oh, what's his name?
Billy Boyd.
No.
Billy Batson.
Okay, Google. Who plays Timon in the live action Lion King?
Billy Eichner, according to Wikipedia.
Okay, Google, shut up. Billy Eichner. Especially as, oh my god, Hakuna Matata. I love that version so much because
Hakuna Matata.
after 20 years, they can finally say he farted. Every time that I farted, are you gonna stop me? No, I'm not. You're disgusting. What else did I watch that I didn't like? Okay, I didn't gel with Maleficent 2.
I didn't see Maleficent 2.
I've
I'm
seen
being
the
honest-
first one because the first one is basically Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah.
Number 2 didn't gel with me so much because I didn't know. I didn't really get on with it that well.
I did not like enjoy Maleficent 1, if I'm being honest, because the villain, he betrayed Maleficent for no reason. He had like his motivations were, yeah, he's an evil bastard, but like because it went into detail of how he became that guy and it offered no reasoning for it. I'm like,
Oh yeah, when he
this
cut off her wings. Shit.
yeah, like why? Like
You didn't
like
give a good enough reason why. Yeah.
this guy did for no reason. He was Maleficent's best friend. They might as well have been in love. And then
he just went dark and just like, Maleficent's gonna
like
come
out
find
of
me.
nowhere.
It was truly out of nowhere. Yeah, I do agree
Yeah.
with that. Dumbo, I've only watched once.
I haven't seen that. I honestly forgot they made
The,
live action
the
Dumbo.
trailer will always make me cry. The movie itself, I think it did change the story from the original animation, but then again, it's harrowing the original
You
animation.
know what? You know one movie that I honestly can't remember if they made live action. But I feel like it would either do really, really well or really, really not well. Live
Which one?
action Bambi.
Oh god, that's gonna be emotional if
Yeah,
that comes out.
and you know why? Because like there's one thing they'd have to get well.
Oh,
Yeah,
Bambi's mom. No.
yeah, Bambi's mom. I remember.
I haven't watched the new Pinocchio.
Yeah, I was gonna say one more thing about Bambi.
Oh yeah.
It just popped in my head talking about Bambi. This picture I saw on Twitter once. It was a bunch of people at a convention. They were all dressed as Disney villains,
Mm.
and there was one guy who was dressed as the hunter. And everyone was like, "No, he's the only villain who ever actually killed anyone."
That's true. He actually is the only one that's killed someone.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Pinocchio I haven't seen.
There's a live action Pinocchio?
It's on Disney Plus.
Ah, okay.
Tom Hanks is Geppetto.
Is who?
Geppetto, the
I
puppet.
don't know who.
He makes Pinocchio.
I know nothing about Pinocchio.
Basically, he makes Pinocchio.
Okay.
Lady and the Tramp I have seen. I found it okay. Especially as I love that they used actual stray dogs in the movie.
Yes.
And they went to the movie premiere and they were just being taken pictures together. They just both sat there and it's so cute.
Like, Ruff, give us food.
I haven't seen Peter Pan and Wendy.
The live action Peter Pan, that came out like in 2012 or something. When did it come out?
23.
Okay, we're thinking of the wrong of a different movie.
Peter
then.
Pan and Wendy is on Disney Plus.
I'm thinking of the one where Hugh Jackman plays Captain Hook.
Yeah, that's 2012 and that's Pan. That's where they
Pan.
tried to make Peter's origin story.
That one
Of
was
how he got to Neverland.
That was weird.
It was a very weird version, especially when they're singing Smells Like Teen Spirit.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember enough about it to remember if I liked it or didn't like it.
the thing that weirded me out is that they were singing Nirvana and Nirvana wasn't even around yet.
Well, here's the thing. I can't hear that song without thinking of the version they used for Black Widow at the beginning of it.
Mm.
Which, for the record, Black Widow opening, one of the best openings I've ever seen in a Marvel film, by far.
Trying to think of the other. Cinderella was okay. Nah. Because at the end of the day, Cinderella is Cinderella.
Yeah.
Same thing. She loses a slipper. She goes back. The prince finds out.
Hey,
Oh, look,
at
slipper.
least it's kind of accurate to the original things where the mother and the sisters become blind for the rest of and beggars and they cuff their
That's
feet.
Into the Woods.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, Into the Woods. I kind of liked Into the Woods.
I did not realize the trailers did not advertise it was going to be a musical. I did not
It's
realize that.
originally in a musical on stage production.
Yeah. But like they were accurate to a lot of the original Legends of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, I can't remember. Did they have Sleeping Beauty
No.
in that movie? Okay, good. Because the original version of Sleeping Beauty is fucked.
Rapunzel. It was Rapunzel. It was Red Riding Hood. It was Jack. And it was Cinderella.
Yes. I remember Emily Blunt's character dies for no reason.
Baker's wife. She basically died in the forest because
She
after
fell
the
off a
prince
cliff.
tried to flirt with her, she fell off of a cliff.
Yeah.
Because I think she heard some wind that scared her and slipped. Ended up falling down a cavern. And basically what was being repeated is what the baker's father did to the baker. He lost his wife, so he was abandoning his child. So the baker has to not be that or not become that.
Yeah, because he's just lost his wife now.
And then he ended up, the ending was he was telling the story. He kind of became a storyteller in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, there's been quite a lot of live actions. I think just, like, obviously, Hercules is probably going to be one. Hunchback of Notre Dame is going to be probably one.
Yeah, I mean Hercules, Hunchback. What else? Don't live action Sleeping Beauty.
It's already Maleficent at this point.
But no, I
Same
mean,
with
but
101 Dalmatians being Cruella.
like actual properly like live action Sleeping Beauty, because they'd have to basically remake the Disney version or be basically an X-rated porn film.
Jesus.
You know what happens in the original like story of Sleeping Beauty, right?
I have read the Grimm's fairy tales.
Yeah, I've not read it, but through way of doing a project in at OCC, oh boy.
Yeah.
They're all like the original versions of like all the classic fairy tales are so fucked between yeah.
I think a live action Frozen's like a few years away. Because they're going to keep
Live
the
action-
Frozen hype.
Live action Frozen, yes.
They won't
Let
put
it-
a live action Wish together yet.
Wish came out like 2 days ago or something.
Thanksgiving.
Like fucking hell. Like but give it 20 years at least.
Give it 20 years.
I'm serious, especially
is-
in this day and
There is
especially
one
in this
live action I kind of want.
live action Inside Out. Okay, yeah, fair. Live action Baymax.
If we got a real
On a scale
Baymax.
from 1 to 10, how
How
would you rate
your
your
pain?
pain?
On a-
Ah!
On a scale from 1 to 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 10, how would you rate your
Your
pain?
pain. 27.
But yeah, because that was the Marvel Disney crossover. Because it's originally a
Yes.
Marvel comic.
Which is why Stan Lee had a cameo in it still.
Stan Lee was TJ Miller's dad.
Yeah.
Right. Trying to think of live action remakes again.
I can't think of anything else.
I'm looking at my shelf. Do you know what?
Yeeth?
Scott Pilgrim.
Haven't seen it. I know nothing
Oh
about
my
it.
God. Okay. So Scott Pilgrim is originally a graphic novel
Uh-huh.
that was written by, what was his name?
Has Google.
Okay, Google. Who wrote the Scott Pilgrim graphic novels?
Brian Lee O'Malley wrote Scott Pilgrim's Precious Little Life.
Brian O'Malley is what it said. If I'm wrong,
Nice.
I'll fact check myself.
If you're wrong, then right here, it'll show the graphic.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. But Scott Pilgrim was a really good adaptation of like, because it had all the video game nods when he was, because basically he wants to date this girl, and to date this girl, he has to defeat her 7 evil exes.
That sounds awesome. Does the computer synopsis?
By the way,
Yeah,
here's who you've got in this movie:
Michael Cera. I know that.
Michael Cera, Alison Brie, Brie Larson, Chris Evans. I'm just trying to think of everybody. Audrey
John
Plaza,
Audrey
Anna
Plaza.
Kendrick. Oh, he was in Legends of Tomorrow. Brandon.
Brandon Jackson.
No, that's not his name. Fuck. Let me search my phone. Because he played Superman.
What?
He played Superman in Superman
Legends.
Returns. He played Superman in Superman Returns.
Wasn't that Gregory Peck?
I'm trying to find him. I just Legends of Tomorrow. Just because it'll give me the actor's name then. Brandon Routh.
Oh, okay.
There we go. So Brandon Routh as well. And then Kieran Culkin, who is currently very popular for telling Pedro Pascal to suck it. Did you watch the Golden Globe speech?
Nope.
He's basically, he won for Succession for best TV supporting actor.
Yeah.
And he just like he's given his speech and then he just goes, "Suck it, Pedro. Sorry." Mine. Pedro got him back at the Emmys though.
Yeah.
So I just have to tell this. So obviously all the photos at the moment, Pedro's got a cast on.
Yes, I knew he had a cast on for something.
So he was just like, I think it's time to let everybody know because everybody's been asking about my arm. It's actually my shoulder. And it is because Kieran Culkin beat the shit out of me. All in great humor because,
Yeah.
like, obviously they're going to be best friends. But basically, the
Yeah.
funny thing is, after he said that, it cuts to Kieran Culkin giving him a hard stare, just like. And then afterwards, he just goes, "Here are the nominees," and you just see Kieran Culkin break.
Here.
So obviously, the Culkin brothers are back in the spotlight
Yeah.
because Macaulay Culkin finally got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
He deserves it so much.
He deserves it, and also because, like, obviously he had a lot go on in his life, and Brenda Song became his savior. Brenda Song is a beautiful woman and like really lovely. So she's a phenomenal actress, and obviously she's in The Quarry. And then you've got Kieran, who's just won an Emmy for a TV show. you're seeing them more in the spotlight now, which, oh my God, is
Yeah.
amazing for the Culkin brothers.
Yeah,
Um,
I've run out of things to talk about for this episode.
I was still going on Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, we are still? Okay.
Yeah, because Scott Pilgrim has the good merge of video games, essentially,
Mhm.
and like comic, like a graphic novel adaptation, because it keeps to it, and also it's very funny. It is worth a watch 100%.
I'll add it to the list.
Yeah, especially Audrey Plaza's just so funny in it. Just like Scott Pilgrim, what can I fucking get you? And here's the thing, because they're PG-13 rated, any fucks that are said are blurred out. Because it's Edgar Wright.
It reminds me of that, like Scott Pilgrim, what can I fucking get you?
Yeah, because he's like, what can I fucking get you?
Reminds me of Stranger Things season 3 when
Yeah.
Dustin is just bothering the shit out of Robin to try to get Steve's attention.
Mm. I'm Steve's friend.
Henderson.
Henderson! How many children are you friends with?
Yes, apparently.
I think there is one more live action adaptation. I'm just trying to look at it. Okay, I'm going to briefly talk about this one. Because obviously
Yes.
Paddington 2, like Paddington 1 and 2 are great live action versions because obviously he was initially a book, then he was an animated TV series, and then they brought him to life in the cutest and most adorable way possible.
Yasmin
Yeah.
just breaks inside after hearing all the shit I haven't seen.
Childhood has broken. Okay. And then one thing that's coming out recently is that they've started production on the live action How to Train Your Dragon series.
Once again, it's too soon.
Is it?
Yes.
The
Actually,
last movie was in
what-
2019.
when did the first one come out?
Okay, Google. When did the first How to Train Your Dragons come out?
In the United Kingdom, How to Train Your Dragon was released on the 31st of March 2010.
2010.
That's only I'd say
That's 14 years.
Fair. As long as like like they can start production on it, but don't release it for like 3 years at least.
I think they're going to take a while to work on it because they've just cast their Astrid and their Hiccup.
Yeah.
Because they've been just releasing casting news at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going to be an interesting one because if they can kind of copy the formula of what's happened with Paddington, because obviously Paddington is a bear who isn't exactly real. And he has to be
real bear.
Yeah, you can't get a real bear on set.
I'm a real bear.
And especially I'm excited for Paddington 3 because he's gonna go to darkest Peru. He's gonna go home.
Didn't Paddington like in 2 go to prison?
Yes, he did.
The fuck?
He was convicted for a crime he did not commit.
Paddington, why did you murder him?
It was robbery.
Why did you murder him?
That's all. I think that's all the time we have.
Yeah, I can't think of any. We've already talked about all the stuff
We've
I can
talked
think
about
of.
quite a lot, to be honest, and it's been
We
debate.
have.
Just question to the audience: how in oh,
Question to the
I'm losing my
audience.
voice very slowly.
Is Yasmin dying?
Probably.
Fair.
But question to the audience: if you guys could pick one live action adaptation as your favorite, what would it be and why? Or what live action adaptation you would like to see next? Because it's a very good question.
Live action adaptation of the Lego movie.
That would just be a claymation.
No, it's like through the use of CGI, like a guy just like rips his leg off, swaps it out with another leg, just for the fuckery.
I would kind of see it as as like a claymation. You know, like how Aardman Studios make all their movies.
I know, but like a
Just a brick at a
claymation,
time.
that's a claymation. That's not live action.
Yeah, but that's how I'd picture it. Because like, if you can't exactly make a live action of a Lego movie, but if you put it as a claymation, it would be funny.
You can't make a lot. Not with that attitude. You can't.
Oh my god.
Let's just end the episode before this gets any worse.
Yeah. Okay. If you want to see more from this channel, like me playing some games, Lou playing some games, Wade playing some games, more chaotic episodes, movie reviews, stuff that's still to come, subscribe to this channel, please.
Please?
If you like chaos, we're fun.
We are agents of chaos.
Whoa.
Oh.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I have been Yasmin.
I have been tortured. I'm Wade.
Good. So you know I'm flying to America tomorrow to whip your ass.
Fair. Give me an excuse to call
And-
him to work.
Jesus. And this has been an episode of Blue Minds Think Alike. All right.
Bye.